Greetings, fellow Sierra Leonean around the world, and welcome to Sierra Cast TV. I will be your co-host for tonight's show with Mr. Jeff Med Fode Mami Suma. I also would like to make it categorically clear that this is Mr. Suma's show. I'm just here today to co-host and also engage him with some questions that will help to answer our many concerns about the Republic of Sierra Leone. Before I proceed, I also would like to acknowledge the founder and producer of Sierra Cast TV, Mr. Amjad Jalomi Ba, for his tireless efforts towards Sierra Cast TV. Fellow Sierra Leonean, it gives me the greatest pleasure to welcome my mentor and a mentor of many, Mr. Jesmed Fode Mami Suma, once again to Sierra Cast TV. Mr. Jesmed Suma, our show today is to help sensitize fellow Sierra Leonean on the state of our economy. If I may ask, could you please give us a general overview of the state of Sierra Leone economy from 1964, when we have our independence, to now, 2019?
Good evening, good afternoon, depending upon which part of the world you are. For those of our brothers and sisters that are in Sierra Leone, good evening to you all. This program is going to focus on the factors that happened between independence to now that are responsible for us to be as poor as we are, considering where we started off from as early back in the 1960s to now. But because this is more going to be more beneficial for our people on the ground, which makes it necessary for me to speak in our local lingua, in this case Creole.
Absolutely.
Because of the abysmal failure of our education system, quite a good number of people, over 60 to 70% of them, cannot read and write. And I wouldn't like to use jargons to make them to confuse people. I want them to understand the rationale and the reason. Perhaps that will help them make the right judgment in the future so that we can transform our economy moving forward. Again, my name is Jismet Fode Mami Suma. My family will extend greetings to you now. The interviewer don't ask me, say, waiting at the general overview of our economy in a salon since the 1960s to now. Because this is not a short interview, I go just give a general overview so that people understand from Musa we start in the early 60s, especially from the time prior to the time we get independence. Prior to the independence, in the 1960s, our economy been to produce over $322 million, within economies then called gross domestic product. That's not the amount of goods and services where Salome they produce and export in a day. Over $322 million. Now, very few countries in Africa been they produce at that level. When you analyze them figure then they, you say, let we take this $350 million we produce in 1960, $322 million we produce in 1960. You divide that among all Sierra Leoneans that will be needed that 10 day. Each person will forget $160. Now, then call the GNI cost, what you call per capital income. Now, GNI per capital income, now in the determine how much each person will able to forget if they really distribute the amount of wealth to Salome get attended. By the 1970, we level of production, the growth rate between 1960 to 1970, don't reach over $600 million. That continued until you get to 1980. This is not the crucial point. In 1980, we gross domestic product, whether the GDP, the amount of output, the amount of things that we produce in us alone, from the factories them to the mining industry to the agricultural sector, when the economists they analyzed that one day, it was over $1 billion. Then if they distribute the income we will get, each Sierra Leonean forget over $370 per person.
Wow. Interesting.
That level of production the capacity of Sierra Leone for move forward. The trajectory will be not get. They already send attraction to the World Bank and IMF. Now the 10 them begin penetrating to Sierra Leone. But we'll not go touch on that one day. Now I'll go over to 1990s. From 1980, first of all, we start at a point where we loans now been £2.40 to £1 British pounds. It will loans be so strong then 10 day. Now 75 cents. Now you they take for buy $1. Wow. You can take the loans so we get. You fly go England. You use the loans na supermarket na England. Then they accept them. That is how much value they may get for loans. Interesting. It been still able to get strong till reach 1980. Now the 10 World Bank and IMF come into Sierra Leone. And how we reach that level later, World Bank and IMF, they penetrate into Sierra Leone. We'll go touch on that as we move forward. From that now we lose control of our exchange rate. And then 10 day, the way they determine the exchange rate is different from now. We'll go touch on that one day as we go on. Then they peg them. But anyway, as you don't ask, when we go to the 1990s now, we don't go into war. The country don't begin go bad because the hardship, people are not desperate, all in desperation. All them good things they don't they get, we don't the good life where people are not they live, where life they not begin to improve. In the 60s, 70s to the 80s, we left all and behind. From the 80s downwards, with GDP when have been over $1 billion, it fall down to $600 million by 1985 to 1990. That continued, of course, when the worker, everything go down to a level we're very low. Now, eventually, God make we able to get out of the war. God make we begin to get support from outside. God make we get a leadership we take over from that end. Then begin to restructure the economy. Now, in the gross domestic products begin to increase from 600 million to a billion to 1.5 to 2 billion till 2007. And as Kuruma take over around 2007 with GDP being about 2.5 billion. That time in the iron ore begin for boom. The other mining industry begin for boom. Production begin for go. Now in the GDP increase up to 3 billion. It reached to a point, according to World Bank records, it reached even to 5.1 billion dollars. Today, with GDP don't drop back to 3-something billion dollars. Hopefully by next year, it will go to $4 billion. So if you ask me for an overview of our economy at that time, that now just using one economic indicator. There are other economic indicators that we'll go for the touch on, where they call income disparities, where they come the waiting and call the growth propensity to poverty, you know, growth elasticity to poverty. We will touch on all anything and then some economic jargons them, but I will find a way for break and down for let the layman understand and relate them to salon, relate them to farmers then, relate them to teachers, relate them to the education system as we move on. Thank you for that question. There.
You're welcome, sir. Excellent. Well done. Tell you plenty, thank you. Very well done. So now I will proceed to my second question.
Your voice.
My second question is that many of us may not know the difference between IMF and World Bank. If you can you kindly tell us the difference between IMF, which stands for the International Monetary Fund, and the World Bank, please? I will talk back now with local franker. For most of we, some of we, for now we give the audience a better understanding between the difference of IMF and World Bank. If you go kindly take your time and explain them categorically so the audience then go understand. Before I proceed to my next question, please.
IMF and the World Bank now two of the three major institutions that way they control the entire global economy. Again, IMF and the World Bank now two of the three major institutions then where they control the global economy. The third one now World Trade Organization, WTO. All in three organizations and they any country mess up with them, they can destroy you easily. They get powerful control over the economies of the world. IMF stands for the International Monetary Fund. The World Bank, they actually get 5 different institutions. But there are two major institutions and they were formed waiting at the World Bank. That are the International Bank of Reconstruction and Development. Now, that particular wing of the World Bank is responsible for give out loans to middle income countries them, like Malaysia, South Korea, and then one and the way they try to reach the level of, you know, United States of America or other different Western advanced countries. Then you have the International Development Association. Now they, Salon and the other poor country they belong to. It's responsible for give soft loan to individual them we member country them we na poor country then and they give them, and they say according to them, then they give them interest-free loan or soft loan for development purposes. That nine the World Bank they for. But the World Bank get three other institutions them where they operate under them. All that three, now five institutions and they operate as the World Bank. You get one with an International Finance Corporation, where you know responsibility now for give out loan to the private sector in developing countries, member countries. Then you also have what they call Multilateral Investment Guarantee Agency. That one they provide insurance protection for foreign companies and where they go invest in a developing country. Like you get Microsoft or you get any other company, like mining company, you want to go invest in a salon. Then the worry say outside the business climate, then go probably sometimes political strike or war or other factors then go able to affect them business. So then go afraid for go invest on that side. So World Bank, they can say no worry, will they insure you investment under this program, MEGA, so that if anything happen beyond your own control, where they outside the business environment, you go able to get your money back with the insure. They call on the MEGA. That's Multilateral Insurance Guarantee Agency. Then you also get the ISCID. Now that na the last agency we responsible for address dispute among member countries and among member countries and any dispute between them with foreign investors where they come. You understand, see, for observe, say, all the institutions they are, then they within the World Bank and they dictate what thing they happen. So even though African countries like Sierra Leone are part and parcel of the membership of World Bank, they get a very limited say. But I go count to that one day, let we name IMF, the International Monetary Fund. Now the IMF and the World Bank then create them at the same year in 1944. Then get 44 member countries then will participate in the creation of them two institutions there. The 44 member countries then they include some European countries then. Then can meet a meeting, then come for a meeting now a place called Bretton Woods Conference. Now the Bretton Woods, you know, go be surprised, plenty people don't know this. Bretton Woods na America idea.
Wow. You
understand? Somewhere in a Connecticut area. Now area outside, I don't then go actually go hold meeting. But to for realize in 1944, now just after during Europe, they depend on America for the Second World War. After the Second World War, and Europe they try for look for help for recover from then destruction where they don't go through. So America been get so much influence in shaping the structure and the decisions the way they influence the World Bank and IMF. First of all, America alone get over 16% or 17% voting power within the IMF for make decisions. No other single country no come close to that.
Wow.
The inside the World Bank, they get over 16.4% voting power. So they structure them two institutions and it's different from the UN. UN, the voting power, apart from the permanent nations, right, the voting power is based on country by country.
I see.
Inside the World Bank and IMF is based by dollar.
Wow.
The amount of percentage contribution you make to the institution, now they determine your own voting power. In America, they make the greatest institution. And guess what? It don't only stop to that. They make sure, say, for make any changes in the resolution where they form the foundation of them two institutions, and especially the World Bank, you can forget 85% support for that particular position. So how are you able to change that?
Exactly.
So because when the structure of the institution, the benefit, now that make right now, you get developing countries, patriotic economists, then they ask for reforms within the World Bank and the IMF institution so that we, the African countries, the way they take the branch of their own classical economic policies, we'll be able to get a say in the decisions where they affect, the lives of our people. Now, that's not the difference between them two institutions and they. But the most important difference is as I follow. World Bank, as I said, they give loan to member countries for finance development projects. IMF, they give loan to member countries, especially poor developing countries, for support what they call them balance of payment deficit. I go explain now one day. Now some economic term now, don't worry, I go explain now into detail what's in a balance of payment deficit. So that's not the key difference between the two institutions.
Thank you so much. Well stated. Yes. Now that you have given our viewer what I will refer to as a solid description of the difference, can you further explain, as some may wonder, if not many, as to how did those two institutions got involved in dictating the policies of Sierra Leone?
Well, they ask, say, since I don't explain briefly what now the difference between the World Bank and the IMF, how then two institutions and they can able for influence the policies in a Salone and other African countries then, where we reach a situation we all poor and the situation they go from bad to worst. When you compare waiting how we been go from the 1960s to the 1980s and waiting we don't experience between 1980 to now, where World Bank and IMF involved in a Salone, waiting they actually do, we influence decision, which role IMF play and which role World Bank play. And I want to listen to this carefully. The role of government. Now for create an environment where they protect the lives, the liberty of the citizens. They create an environment where they grow the economy, build social services, provide social services, education, healthcare, and so on and so forth. You're able to create harmony within the country. That's not the general overview of a government. Now, for let government go able for do anything, you need people within the country for able to produce. When them produce goods and services, they export them goods and services then get money. How the government they get money? It tax the business activities. It tax the income. If people then get job, then pay income tax, government get money. If mining company then produce, then pay income tax, government get money. When them produce the goods they export, then pay tax on and government get money. So now from them various ways then the government they get money. The other way government they get money, now the assistance and where they get from abroad. The third way or fourth way government they get money, the kind of money that where they abroad, where they abroad, so we Sierra Leoneans them. The money that we they send at the country. You understand? All that they add up to what they call the foreign reserve where the government get. Because when you send money in a Salone, the money where they go Salone, realistically you're not supposed to use dollar for transact. So that dollar they go to the central bank. If them pass on through the right channel, then the central bank they release the loans. So the reserve, the government reserve they go up. So we always there, so we help for sustain the economy of Salone. If the money that they send, we withdraw them, the economy of Salone they crash. No, let nobody fool on that. Because we Sierra Leoneans alone way they abroad. Right now, there was actually now we now over $250 million we send every year. Imagine and a half over $250 million. There was a time during the war we been send over $500 to $600 million. But now, because of things are not begin for winning, so we they take care of education and cost of them. So all that they bring foreign reserve, foreign currency in the country.
Absolutely.
Now, when we export goods and services out of the country, it bring foreign currency into the country. Now, when we want for import the thing that we will not able for make na salon, like motor car, like tractor, like building materials, we want for import them. What would they pay for them? Not only loans would they give them. Now that foreign money we don't go into Sierra Leone. Remember, I tell you, I say now 3 or 4 different ways foreign money they come to salon.
Right.
The thing that they export, the money that will the diaspora and they send, the grant that will they get, and the investors the way they come. So when they bring them dollars and then bring them pound sterling and they now in the central bank they convert them, they give the loans. Now where businessmen want import stuff, then they go to the bank or they go to the either central bank or commercial bank or forex bureau, then go buy the dollar. So man, they buy 100,000, 20,000, 50,000, they import goods and services. Now remember I've been telling I say there is a word called balance of payments deficit. Well, I explain what's in a balance of payment deficit. The difference between we transaction with the rest of the world. The difference between the amount of goods, services, and other things that we will export, the money we will receive from that, and the amount of money we will spend out for how we import goods and services. Now in then called balance of payment, because the payment they will make and the payment they will receive. Now, if we export $1 billion worth of goods and services abroad, we receive that $1 billion now we salon economy. Then we import goods and services from abroad. Then we'll go for spend that entire $1 billion back. That then create a balance. Then they call it a balance of payment. You understand? No deficit, no surplus. Now, if on the other hand, we not import too much, maybe we get $1 billion, we don't export, we don't get $1 billion, then maybe we just import $500,000 worth of goods then for the entire year, then we get a surplus. That surplus then at $500,000. That surplus then they indicate say, salon economy is strong, small. We're able to pay for anything we want. It sends signal to the economic indicators where they determine how the wealth of nations, it compare them with the population of the people. It is able to determine certain aspects. It gets your limitations. I will explain the limitations and there as we go on. That's a surplus balance of payment. Then the other one, now when you receive money like $1 billion because you don't sell things outside salon, they don't pay you. You don't get $1 billion in the economy. But you want for import $1.5 billion from abroad. You want import up to $1.5 billion. But now $1 billion no more you get. Now you call deficit.
I see.
You want more, but you not get enough for pay for them. Now you call balance of payment deficit. Now IMF is fundamental. Now then they can begin for change and make, like say, they make sweeten the role where IMF they play in a different economy. But the fundamental role where IMF they play, where they set that institution for. Now for that, you go able for provide loans, assistance, loans to countries then where they import, so that for able for meet the balance of payment deficit. Now listen to this carefully. And I talk say when you get surplus, it shows your country economy strong. But if you get deficit, it shows your economy weak because you need to pay for the thing that way you get past, you go take loan. No so?
Yes.
Now I'll put on the layman way. When I listen when I wait in a salon. Let's say you neighbor, you in a house, you make 1 million loans every month. That 1 million loans there, you able for take care if you picking them, you weft them, you rent, you name this and that. But sometimes the pan house, now my way like papa, I don't command. Wait, take pan 1 million loans there, go to go pap. Then where you don't go pap te, you get enough for pay for school fees money no day, pay for rest money no day, bills money no day. because you don't pap alt, you don't begin for the way name. Then you get one in neighbor na corner. The neighbor say, "Bo, no worry, bo. The wrong way they buy na me get them, and they sell them to you." You know, my brother they under when IMF. Go to them, we go talk to IMF, let them give you loan. So you go meet your neighbor now. You go, but my neighbor give me 200,000 loans now. You go take that 200,000 loans there. Sometimes the pan now, before you take care of him picking them, you go first, you go take care of girlfriend, you begin buy house in a corner, you begin get girlfriend them, this and that. That 200,000 loans, so you don't go trust your neighbor. You don't bring and come. But your neighbor in border and they sell the Romo. You understand? So none of that relationship there between we and the Western world and the IMF. The Western world, and they get we addicted to the importation of the young goods and services. You understand? When we get addicted, like when somebody don't turn drunk, man. You say, well, I not get money for pay for you think the way how they import. But no worry, bo. That rest why they import from China, you not get money. We go talk to IMF, then go give you loan. IMF give you loan, you trust from IMF, you pay China, you pay Thailand, you pay where name. You understand? Yes. But the question is, why Salone or other African countries not going to produce for themselves? Instead of them go take loan from IMF, for let them go begin for the buy thing them from abroad. Then get now the WTO coming. Now while I want to listen to this carefully, then go the World Trade Organization. Then get a concept now economics knows no say where they no say free trade. Free trade policy. The free trade policy, the entire premise of the free trade policy is centered on an economic principle that no say where they no say comparative advantage. What in that they mean? If you there na Salone, somebody there na China or other country then they produce different goods and services the way they need. They say no, let us not produce. Let one country not try to produce all things. Let you specialize on the thing that way you get the best advantage on. In other words, where they cost you the least. Sometimes, it cost me 1 million for produce 1,000 bags. The other one, it will cost them $200 for produce 1,000 bags. So that person they get advantage over you in terms of the cost of production. So in that case, then go say, you know what, not worry for produce less. Let that person they go to produce less. Then go to sell them to you. Waiting they not get, you concentrate on that one day, just to produce that one day and sell them. And from that day, waiting we need and waiting we able to forget is limited in the sense that the most thing that we get now we mineral resources, the gold, the diamond, the bauxite, the iron ore, all them mineral resources. Then with money abroad, they get some more, but they not get enough. They need more. Otherwise, the economy they not go grow. But so then tell we say, no focus for grow rest, no focus for grow other thing them. Just focus on exporting your goods and services, you mining industries. Then you begin for say now, man where they go produce butter, man where they produce oil. Then they produce the oil and other thing them cheaper than how you produce oil and anything in your country. So then they begin dumping in your country. You where they produce your factory in a salon now, where they produce oil trade, where they produce butter trade, they produce butter in a salon no. They get shoe factory in a salon no. They get coffee until they drink Nescafe or they import all land. They produce coffee in a salon no. Now in them say to you not a member of WTO. Under WTO rules, you for open your border where every member where they part of WTO for free for produce and send in goods them. Now any country where they want send them because of this comparative cost advantage.
I see. Interesting.
Principle. Now that principle there, it not necessarily be saying a bad principle, but the game where them play, now we need for understand first. Until then say, country them and businesses that were able for produce the best, able for produce at a lower cost, we're able for send goods them out. Let them focus on the thing that we're able for produce. Yet they make sure say, them provide what they call subsidy. What in a subsidy? Where somebody to produce rice, and you want plenty of that rest day, you provide assistance to them. Say again, money, free money. That are free money. Your government they give to the farmers them. Let them produce. What in them do? Before IMF and World Bank come into the play, WTO they not set up that standard. Then say we not for provide assistance to we farmers them because we are a member of WTO. But then they produce set assistance to them farmers them.
Wow. And
then farmers then they produce and cheap. So if the farmer if it costs the farmer $1 million for produce a certain quantity of food, government don't give you $300 million. So now 70 cents normally go cost $700 million. I say $700,000 it go cost, you know, so then they go make it cheaper. I sell and go to Africa.
Yes.
But when we say that we support with farmers, then WTO say, oh no,
That's
you are a member. You know why? Because they want let we abandon we own productivity, focus on mineral resources, so that when we hungry, we don't hungry, want eat, we not get food for it. The government gonna go say, we go for import the food. When you import the food, that means we import more. All the money that we don't get from the way they take mineral, we take that money, they go give them back for the rest we know when they send to we. Because we are part of WTO. WTO say no free trade policies, we not for protect we name. Then the other time again we side and come. Now whether they continue, because we're not able for get enough money for let we pay for the thing that we import. We go to IMF, go take loan, so that we'll be able to satisfy that demand day. Now when that they happen, IMF they look say, okay, then wait find where the country they don't get drunk with the loan. The loan done plenty. Then begin for list you say as the least development countries. Then begin for put on a category down. Now, from there, they begin for put you as highly indebted countries. Now, when they put you in that category, there, your ratings as person way for give loan to, it drop go down. But because the thing that we wanna be able for do yesterday, we're able for produce butter, we're able for produce shoes, we're able for produce rice, we're able for produce cocoa, coffee, we're able for produce all anything. But because of WTO, because we got stupid governments then, WTO say we not for support with farmers then, but then they support their own farmers then. Now China, Europe, all side, then farmers they able for produce. So if left we hungry, we go make say we get for depend on them for produce for send to we. We mean say the money we don't get, we don't sell with mineral, we go take that money they back give them. Where that money they not do, IMF give you the loan. Where IMF give you the loan, they begin for put conditionalities. Now they the word IMF conditionalities they come in play. The IMF conditionalities get three major pillars. Then get what you call austerity. Then go what you call liberalization and privatization. Yeah? Then three things. You see how WTO don't play your role no so? They don't make you a member of them. They don't stop you, don't provide subsidies.
Yes.
The other thing where they say, you for remove all the barriers to trade. When they import something at the country, what thing they mean they do is that then they impose custom duty. Now the government they get some money. Then they provide quota. They say this we don't want any more than 100 tons of rice for Canas alone. So that we own farmers then say go able for produce the balance and supply we. WTO say no. If you're not part of we, not for put that quota there.
Wow.
But how did they enforce that one day? Now IMF now they enforce them. When they give that loan day, then put the condition. No, you not for put quota. If you want for this loan here, how you go say no to the loan?
Yeah.
You not for put quota. So then they remove the quota. Once provide subsidy, they say then they produce butter factory now we name. When they produce rice mill. Now we support them as government so that they go for produce more. No. You're not a member of WTO. And this loan now they give you as IMF, you go for make sure say you get rid of that one day. Then the next one, they say, in fact, they spend too much. Look the number of teachers they want to get. The teachers them plenty, then salary them plenty. Look the workman them. Cut down. The one they were in the 1980s, then go tell una. They say cut down the salaries of workers. The government they spend too much. But no worry, we'll put $1 million for on our account. Now then the corruption come. With government, Salon don't go through a lot of upheavals. We don't go through war. We don't go through coup d'etats. We don't go through other economic crises them. When are the fault of we leaders them? We fault of we leaders in several ways. In the first place, the independence we get a bad deal. Now we're independent. Thank God we not shed no blood for them. Like other places like Zimbabwe and Angola and inside the day, then go for shed blood, then get control of the young country. We will not shed blood for them. Fine. But then give you a bad deal. That is another topic now we will need for touch on. But that bad deal from there, it better because we been get the right leaderships and military maga be move them forward. Until we begin get criminal and come now, where their own sole purpose and for satisfy themselves. The IMF&World Bank come into play, we're ready for play ball with them. If as long as you agree to them conditionalities they are, where they cut down salary of workman them, where they sack some workman in your industries, where they privatize you factory them, so that private sectors and go can buy them. But when they talk about private sector, the salon private sector not get money, and they not get a structure where go make it easier for let the private sector and salon go able to forget buy them factory then they. So what thing they happen? They open the doors for their foreign investors then come buy the factories them, then destroy the factory, then they abandon and then go. Butter, we been get butter factory they make shoes na salon, then go. We been get P0 na the shiso. Plenty thing and the importance of plenty thing and na inside salon in the way name them. Then abandon the thing then go. I not come to the devaluation side too. The most crucial side I want to touch on.
Very sad.
Now,
I just want to interject a question. Now, when IMF come to the country, how does the negotiation go? Like, would I get leverage over the other? Is it the country or IMF? Who dictates?
The question say they ask the question say where IMF can a country. How the negotiation they go? Would I get leverage over the other? The matter is simple. Now IMF and World Bank get leverage over the country. Yeah. Why? Because the WTO laws them under free trade, where you don't adopt, where you don't reduce subsidies for your farmers, where you don't liberalize your trade, you don't open your doors. They say let them privatize. They say let close down your railway because you're not able to sustain them. They say let you privatize your water industries. They say let you privatize your other stuff them. And yet when they privatize them, privatization is nothing bad in it all. Me and Mawin are a strong proponent of privatization. But I go want when you privatize government-owned institutions, let the nationals then be able to be the ones for buy them. But the question is, how the nationals then go buy them when they not get money? If you say, now every individual get money for buy Microsoft or buy other company in America, no. Because then get institutions the way they buy shares. So you don't need to forget $1 million to go buy the energy sector as alone. If you get that kind of a structure there, you go get a stock market where somebody will get 5,000 euros, will get $100,000, $50,000. They all go buy shares, then they go into millions of dollars, then buy the way name. America and the West then get in structure and they will not get them. So when they talk about privatization, without creating the enable environment for letting nationals they able to own their institutions, them now they lead to foreign investors then can take over the country and able for dictate the terms them. So for answer your question, whenever the negotiation comes between IMF and Salon or World Bank and Salon, obviously World Bank and IMF get leverage because now we desperate, now we need them. Now we want for import goods and services. We food all they eat, now we get for import and the oil, the tomatoes, the cow, the chicken, all entire they produce for supposed for produce in a salon. All entire will be they produced in a salon. But because of the bad leadership from that end they can't do. And because IMF want forget unlimited access to natural resources. They want the foreign nations, they are members of the IMF and the World Bank, where they all are members of the IMF and World Bank. They want to give them unlimited, unvetted access to national resources for them for drain out of the country. So that make them they put them conditionalities there, and because they get leverage over we.
So, Mr.
We
Suma,
don't get much
from
for
what
say.
I get from all what you
just want to
say.
follow up.
Yeah, you want to do a
Okay.
follow-up question?
All right.
So
Before
I will make you
coming.
talk a little bit about how corruption come into play, because if IMF they come with a bunch of cash and you get a set of corrupt politicians, they will be like, yes sir, yes sir. They're not going to do anything for pushback on some of the policies the way the IMF will come with.
So
Yeah, he say they ask a very good question. He say how corruption for the politicians them side come into play. Well, first of all, the politicians them we elect them for seek the interest of the people, for seek the interest of the nation. But because of the greed in them, they're not. First of all, you get to understand. Say some of them not be understand at all the long-term future impact of the decision when they make. Let me just fall in for the classical economics theory where they develop in the World Bank where they dictate, because the entire concept of developing the World Bank and the IMF now for help Europe for recover from Second World War, for let Europe recover from Second World War, they need access to mineral resources. For get access to mineral resources, then go for go to African countries and other African countries will get access a large deposit of mineral. And yet the African country they don't begin ask for independence. So the control where the British they may get over with diamond, with gold and bauxite, they don't get that control anymore. So they may need for come up with a machinery. How they go come back and colonize we economically. Now, how the corruption coming into we politicians them? Now they greed and ignorance come into play. When they don't follow them policies here, like free trade policy, globalization, then come to this balance of payment issue. We don't now strap, rest up in the produce, don't produce again. But then say, you will worry, as long as you don't supply the army, police, and the military, I mean the prisons, rest, then get food, and let's say the entire country angry, you are protected. So the politician now, then get this system now, instead of them pay people their salary, then say, no, you they put some salary, give you bag of rice. The soldier man now and the policeman now get for worry, say, if I not obey, that bag of rice why they get at the end of the month, I know will get them. All them people in the starve, I see all man in the angry, in the pride angry, in the bag rest, almost for bag, almost for cup. Me own wife, government they give me one bag rest. La better keep quiet. La better shut up. So what thing they happen? IMF in conditionalities they say, then they give austerity measures where they force the government for reducing expenditure also.
Correct.
If they mean genuine in their approach, in their measures, then they, when they see say part of the money they don't give government, some of them don't siphon and go to a Swiss bank account, $100,000, $1 million, $2 million, $3 million. That's not part of government expenditure. Now government money then they take, send go to switch around. But IMF can't say no. World Bank can't say no. Because now then same politician and they need for say yes to the IMF conditionalities. And then when they can negotiate, going back to that previous questions, when they can negotiate, they already know the kind of thing the way the politician don't do. They already know the kind of money the way they don't thief go put abroad. They already know the kind of mansion the way they get abroad. So when IMF they come now, they come with expert the way know all the information, yeah. Then they bring fulululu them from politics for where they seek the interest of the country. Can't she don't for negotiate. One, the people are hungry. The rest will be the produce and they don't fool you till you know they produce your rest. You know say if you not stand this conditionality, then you pay for that rest when they come out China. So Jama and policeman and go wild and treat. Wow. So you see how the leverage you then get? You see how the corruption come into play? Because the politician became greedy, they became trapped by these conditionalities. I will talk on the solutions. We'll talk on the solutions later. Yeah, but now we analyze the problem as we move forward.
I want to give you one question.
Yes, what is the question?
Excellent. As it gets deeper, it gets more interesting. So now just say this now hypothetical question. You happen to be the president of the Republic of Sierra Leone. From all which you don't explain so, it's a lot more disadvantage for the Republic of Sierra Leone than benefit, I would say, with any kind of negotiation within they get from IMF and so on and so forth, or the funding will they receive. So if you happen to be the president of the Republic of Sierra Leone right now, and you want to bring investment to the country, you want to improve in areas that we need improvement, how you go able for accept any loan from IMF, but at the same time it be beneficial to the country instead of being a disadvantage? How you go able for tackle that, or how you go able for accept then kind of loan then day, or for get we out of usa we day right now?
Now we shift to solutions.
Correct.
Before we shift to solutions, let we talk on this issue about producing and selling out, so you go able to get more money.
Okay.
For take care of your responsibilities. I don't talk about the balance of payment issue.
Absolutely.
Where IMF they give you loan for, let you begin for continue to be a drunkard. That drunkenness now for the import no more other people their own production. You know you produce your own. And that drunkenness. And the reason why they do so, now because the one the way they produce then goods and services they now they own IMF, now they own World Bank. Now then goods and they want sell. Then they send to we. We can't produce we own. So we continue with that process up till now. We always to get a balance of payment deficit. That's now one of the key problems. But the question is, why me think say the economic or classical economic argument when they put forward say you not for protect your own local industries because it will affect global economic growth? It is wrong in so many ways. One, from the 16th centuries to the 19th centuries, the same policies, when they say, let we not do, they say, let we not do them. Now, Europe and America, when they do, where they develop the industry, they protect the industries. They impose custom duties, high one, so that there's nobody not bring motor car inside America because Ford and GM they produce motor car. They impose a lot of quota system so that nobody not go bring maize and tea into America, where America is able to produce your own tea and coffee and whatever and whatever. They impose subsidies. 30 days. American government they give billions and billions of dollars to farmers where they produce farm products. From there where they produce maize, where they produce wheat, where they produce chicken and cow, and then the government they give them subsidies. Now when their industries done strong, they don't get what in calling our economies of scale. Economies of scale is that when you perfect your method of production, you reach a point where the cost of production per unit will be so small that you go able for produce more and you're able for sell your product cheap. Now when they don't reach that level there, between the 16th to the 18th, even 19th century, 18th century, now in them begin for talk about this WTO globalization and free trade policies. That means then say, waiting, we don't perfect the method of production. Let we now get other side also will dump products them. How we go do that? Let we fool the rest of the world for coming to this WTO name. The ladder where we claim for let we economy reach to this level so that we're able to produce more.
Right.
We kick the ladder down so that they're not going to claim that ladder there. The same thing that what we do, the quota system, the protection, they call it the mercantile policies, protectionism, where they impose, where they protect the industries up to the level where they don't perfect the skills of production. Now the tenor they say we not for do that now we own African countries, so that we go continue for be dependent on them.
Very sad.
Now. Before I touch on solutions, I want to let we understand the problems first. Remember, I've been talking, I will explain how the farmer in life connected in that.
Yes.
Then call the issue devaluation. How the loans lost in value. Right now, the value of the loans is determined by the forces of demand and supply. The World Bank and IMF then still get influence, but not as much as they used to do in the 60s and the 70s. Because in then they dictate the rate. You dey sleep today, one net. By the next morning, then tell you say the value of the leons now 2 leons to $1. Overnight. Because of conditional, they say, hey, Seka Stephen on signed the IMF conditionality last night. Today, the value of the leons is $2 to $1, 2 leons to $1. So just overnight, 100% devaluation. Pap, well, I explain what they mean. Now, while I want to listen to this carefully. The one they went na cocoa and coffee producers na the east and the south. The one they will be they produce diamonds na kono and then side and they bow then side and they. Una listen carefully. Let una understand how una been get poor. Wetin IMF and World Bank and corrupt competition mean do we bring poverty in a salon. Let we say the dollar na be $1 to 1 leon. No so? Then say 1 ton of cocoa, the 1 ton of cocoa na 1,000 leons. Since $1 na 1 leons, now na $1,000. No so? If somebody get 10 tons of cocoa, that na $10,000 the person get na hand. No so?
Absolutely.
You get 10,000 leons, you convert that to dollars na $10,000. But the question the economists go ask you, why you go for convert that farmer in your own leons into dollars, where not to dollars you they use for buy goods and services? That is a good argument. I agree with that. So let's say the farmer gets 10 leons, 10,000 leons. No so? Now, this investor, they come with $100,000. Well, let's say the investors they come with $100,000. He want for can buy one for can buy cocoa and coffee, and $1,000 for 1 ton. Also,
Right.
that now 1,000 ton. Now any person you go with 1,000 ton of cocoa and coffee, he left in $100,000 na salon. Now, IMF they tell you say this na classical economist them, where they get Milton Friedman, where na the Reagan your own type of economic policy, Margaret Thatcher your own type of economic policy. Now they one then say, oh, we forget the African countries they are for liberalize the industries. And we want access to that cocoa. The more cocoa, more diamond, more gold. If we allow them to get $1 to 1 leons, that means for every $100,000 we will bring come, we will get 1,000 tons of cocoa. Because now $1,000 for 1 ton also.
Yes.
IMF, you need for play a role there.
Wow.
Until we don't make them drunk, they need for import more thing than from we. When they come back for more loan, tell them say no. You need for devalue your currency. If you devalue your currency, more people go able for come demand you cocoa, coffee, and diamond and bauxite. That's not a legitimate economic argument.
Right.
You understand? But there are two concepts to it. Then get what you then call elasticity of demand and elasticity of supply. What now the difference between the two? The elasticity of demand, now the level of how demand respond to changes in the price of goods and services. So based on the argument they make, now to say if you drop the value of the loans, Lord, look at that example we'll do again.
Right.
This person say, if I go now Ivory Coast, I dey buy cocoa and coffee day. Now $1,000 per ton. Why change the $1,000? I dey get 1,000 francs. I buy 1 ton. Why can't salon? I dey take $1,000. I change them into leons. I buy 1 ton. When I 1,000 leons. No so?
Yes.
Good. But because then devalue saloon in currency, when at 2 leons to $1. So when me bring me $1,000, now 2,000 leons I get.
Sad.
So the investor go say now, wow, instead of I buy coffee na cocoa and coffee na Ivory Coast, la run go salon. Because yesterday, the government don't devalue the currency. So me $1,000, why I change them, I go to get $2,000 leons, where I go buy 2 tons. But what thing them forget for realize is that the elasticity of supply, they correspond at the same level to the elasticity of demand. The demand go high, but the supply, the quantity produced in the short run, not go able to meet that demand day. So it make no difference. Instead, it affect with foreign reserve. It make with farmers then they sell 2 tons for the same price. What they mean they get $1,000 per ton.
Yeah.
If they're not been devalue, now $2,000 and forget to 2,000 leons.
Yeah.
Now, then devalue the currency, then they get 2,000 leons, of course, because they sell at 1,000 leons per ton.
Right.
But if you convert down then at $1,000 and they get, because now 2 leons to $1. Now the question is, why down they relevant to the farmer? We know $2 you they use for buy stuff. Well, it comes to the next one where people already think about. Because of our insatiable, what does that mean? Because we know they satisfy, we know they produce, we own thing them. Everything with that farmer they buy, with that leons day, inside salon, nothing they will import. You want buy motorcar, truck, we go to transport in cocoa, na dollar in the important with no so.
Yes.
Now, you want buy rice, we supposed to produce na salon. Na dollar they take for importer with no so.
Yes.
You want buy shoes for picking for go school. You want buy uniform. Now dollar they take for importer no so. So when they devalue, then they look at the IMF/World Bank, they fool with politicians and for look and based on that demand and supply elasticity where they respond to price.
Yeah.
But then they forget say the same farmer, even though he get 2,000 leons for 2 tons where he don't sell.
Right.
Where one buy motorcar, the price of that motorcar they don't double. So trade where he been get where the value of the leons have been 1,000 leons to $1,000.
Right.
The price of motorcar ten have been $100. No so? Yes. So that man they go take, he buy one motorcar truck for him farmers then $100. They get farmers, they get hold and tractor them, he buy $200-300. No so? So sometimes go let $500 in hand.
Yes.
Or 500 leons in hand. Because they don't devalue. The man get 2,000 leons in hand. But when you go now for go buy the motorcar, the price don't go up to 200 leons. The rest don't go up to almost 1,000 leons. The thing that we want for buy, most of them should say for buy for himself. It don't go up to any transportation for move, come on Kenima, come on Kailaon. Train not again because IMF say to get rid of train for finance. So you got for take transport, for go free term. So all that prices they don't go. What's in they happy now? That 2,000 leons so rapport in they get, what that farmer get. It don't mean nothing to her anymore. Because most of the things they buy with them, now most of the things they imported them. And that imported, because of that devaluation, the prices of the imported don't go up. The farmer, in your own money, they get 500 leons balance left in pocket. Right. Now, you don't even enough safe for take care of the basic thing that we for do, because the price of goods and services is not with them. But what thing they happen now? Remember that man they be the car with $1,000, where the leons now be $1 to 1 leons, now 1,000, now 1 ton you able for carry no so. Yes. But because they don't devalue, that same $1,000. They can't take 2 tons for go. So we they produce more.
Yeah.
Forgive them.
The same disadvantage.
Then they give you less of the value by half. Now we talk about foreign reserve now with bank. No so? They say the essence of this tier. Now for let we able for increase with foreign reserve because then they can demand more from we know so. But based on that example they will give you so. We sell more of gold, we sell more of diamond, we sell more of cocoa, we sell more of coffee, but at the same $1,000, now any person bring come. So you not get any increase now we foreign reserve. But then go say, well, in the long run, because the elasticity of demand and supply, you get a short run effect and long run effect. The long term effect, if you give that farmer the time, if you get that mine and a corner time, if you get that gold diamond mine time, maybe within 1 or 2 years, within 6 months to 1 year, you go able for produce more because more people they can demand of in gold and diamond. That is logical and a good argument. No, so
Yes.
that now the here now way they talk about the propensity or the elasticity of supply, the way we supply they respond to the changes in price. This time the price don't drop, but hey, that farmer they how you go able for supply where the price of the thing where they produce it don't drop.
Yes.
So that farmer they in the long run will continue for produce for 2 reasons. One, the price how it is selling cocoa and coffee don't drop because of the valuation. The thing the way they buy, the prices don't go up. You not get enough money for paying workers anymore. You not get money for pay tractor anymore. You not get enough money for pay truck anymore. So that farmer they reach a point now, just give up.
Forced to give up. Absolutely.
Now, if you take that same theory, they pass them to the gold and diamond side. The very average salon man, we're able for buy shovel and tractor and we're able for buy belly machine for let go doing diamond mining. Because they're able to afford the price at that time where the dollar had been $1, $1 leon. Because of devaluation, belly machine price don't double, tractor price don't double, shovel don't double. The very Sierra Leonean miners not able to afford anything and then again. So what thing they happen? Then send them foreign vulture investors. They can't sit on a corner, sit on a Kennyman, sit on a way name. So no worry. If you need shovel or whatever, I will trust you. You go with him. Where you take your diamond now, your bank and then dictates to you. So the average Sierra Leoneans, then they continue for be poor. The so-called investor now where they take advantage because of this devaluation, they can't take gold and diamond and export and go. So now that part then are the problem and not be non-touch on it. That can't to solution.
Yes.
I can't to your question answer now.
You now the president of the Republic of Sierra Leone, you they can't help for straighten out all the mess there. So give a solution.
First of all, I will let you know say one man not able for solve the problem.
Yes, absolutely.
It take a political institution for do that.
Yes.
And the problem they want explain so all man know the 2 parties that were responsible for that problem indeed. The institution itself, the culture where they inside APC and SLPP, that culture they were dictated by the past. That culture they go continue forever as long as we continue for putting a power.
But
they come to a solution.
Okay. But I want to say
Interject.
one thing on that. Right, interject, right? I look and say this is my own contribution to what you just state. And I want to look on a political point of view. I rather know we look and say as an individual, meaning that when we give the mandate or say we elect
Give
somebody,
me the mandate, yes.
Right.
But they come.
Right.
But you know what you do? You know what you do?
Yeah,
we not for focus on individual because no individual not going to do one. You need a team.
Sure.
And that team they need that team they need for get that mindset. That same mindset. Say we need to get a paradigm shift.
When I give you
a change of direction.
Scenario, now I give you a scenario here,
Yes.
right? Let's say we not parent them. We don't instill values, now we picking them, right?
Good.
We don't raise them. We don't hope, say, when we throw them out to the real world, then go kind of emulate what we stand for.
Thank you.
You understand?
Thank you.
Okay. So the same token, we give them that what is if they say then we trust them now say then we'll live as a productive citizen, right? Let's give a scenario. Say you become the president of the Republic of Sierra Leone. You say, Khadija, and they make you me vice president. You don't give me a responsibility based on trust. You don't look at me say, I go execute the position as expected. Okay? You trust me knowing that and hoping that I go do the very best, not only for the country and for the citizen as per your expectation. Okay? Now, unfortunately, me don't be your VP now, and they do things the way very wrong. Where you not be the expect of me. You don't give me your trust, I don't lose trust. Now, I'm not gonna
Okay, I get your point.
Yes.
Now I get your point.
Exactly.
I get your argument. The argument is that the argument is that
Yeah.
the argument is that
Yes.
if we narrow them
Yes.
to political parties,
Yeah.
these political parties then still they get the same people them. Now they get inside them.
No.
So it no matter the camp. Based on what I understand, at the camp.
Okay.
Based on what I understand from you.
Yes.
Meaning that if you get political parties that way in the same country, then they depend on the same people them. And then people and they don't train them over.
No, not so that's how they say.
Okay.
Like say for instance, you get a new party. Say the new party now Jeff made Suma political party, right? You come in with good intention and everything. You bring all new folks them. One of them folks here happen to be me. So let's say all them folks there where you trust think saying that then they do the right thing. You understand? Maybe 18 of them, you get 20. Like how you say now, a teamwork. You get 20 of them people there so around you. Maybe 18 of them, they don't fail you. You understand? That not mean say you party now in the problem. Unfortunately, you trust them people there so for do the right thing. But unfortunately, they don't live to expectation. So I'm not going to blame you because
that
one,
is true. No,
Mr.
you got
Suma,
to blame me. You got to blame me. That's mistake that they do.
Wait.
We got to blame the leader all the time.
Absolutely. But I wanted to blame the leader as an individual, depending on whose steps that it take for correct the wrongdoing then where a Gito in cabinet member.
I understand that.
But for me
but
to
you
say
see,
that,
the
I would
individuals
I would blame Mr. Suma in party. You understand, eh? No, I would blame the cabinet or the individual the way not do right. You understand?
Well,
yes, of course, the president's now irresponsible.
Okay, I
so
agree. I agree with that
yeah.
argument. But what I want to let you understand is that every institution, like a political party,
Right.
they all get a culture. With that culture, they based on the way they do things within the party.
Right.
Whether that mindset they develop on. If that particular political party they eventually come to power, now that same mindset then go carry in the running of the government. You can't forget that. You no matter whether it's an individual. So that make the issue of the political party is important. But let's put that aside. Let's come to the solution. Forget about politics and they put economic concept into play in terms of how we go solve them. If I'm in that position where I go able to develop the culture within my party, I go able to develop the mindset within my party, where they focus on the interests of the people, which kind of economic policy changes them, where I go introduce, where go make, I able for save the nation from this problem here.
Where we're not taking advantage of.
Yes.
Because IMF is taking it from what you explained.
Yes.
It's a lot of disadvantage on the way on side.
Okay.
Yeah.
Remember I've been talking say the three organizations, WTO,
Yes.
IMF,
Yes.
and World Bank, then are the most powerful organization where they control the global economy.
Yes.
Now, if you don't become a member of the three institution, small country like Salon, one for challenge them, you're taking a big risk. But guess what? Now risk them where other country leaders they don't take. I can give you an example.
Okay.
Thomas Sankara of Burkina Faso. It challenged IMF and World Bank. It transformed.
I make them kill them.
Then transform. Thank you.
Sad.
It then transform the economy of Burkina Faso.
Absolutely.
Within a short period. Where they begin look at the statistics, then realize say yes, change is coming to Burkina Faso.
Yes.
He make one speech now African AO conference we do in Addis Ababa. Now in speech, he make it clear. He said them people here they call we in a highly indebted nations. But would that give that create that debt today? Now they don't control the economy, they don't control the meaning of all call for independence, then put we and go in them. So what me one let we do? Now Thomas Sankara they talk so. Now African AU conference. We the African countries, they all speak with one voice.
Absolutely.
Because it been now man will be smart.
Very
you know get no degree in here though.
Yes.
But very intelligent. But he realize say he need the support from the other African countries then. First thing what we need for do, we need for refuse for pay the debt then. Not to we create the debt, not to we make the debt, and then impose them for we. The second thing what we need for do, we need for begin for produce the thing that what we they eat.
Yes.
Until we able for strong.
Yes.
We're not able to challenge them.
Yes.
Because he been realize say if he didn't do them alone, he not able for when name that.
Yes.
But then get what they call economic assassins, lynchers. Now that same system they use the assassinate Patrice Lumumba Because we get independence,
Yes.
then ask them what you want for do with the minerals them. Now I tell them, say the minerals in Congo belongs to the Congolese people.
Absolutely.
Me one green no go then fly and come New York. They been get a committee then call the church committee. Because they make and negotiate for the independence from Belgium. But that negotiation they need for get a clear understanding, say Patrice Lumumba no go shift to the communist side. But Patrice Lumumba say me one green can't make decision. How can I make decision? I don't own all the minerals. It's the Congolese people. When I just give me independence, not get the election, we get independence, we'll be able to decide that. They were not satisfied with that. What did they do? They incite somebody else, na the army, Kavubu. We get control of that mineral there. Now the area we get the most deposit of the mineral. They say in the secede from Congo, they launch a war, United Nations step in. But whether they control United Nations? The UN Secretary General will be there then. Now somebody from the Scandinavian countries. That UN Secretary General, he feels sorry for the situation where they happen in Congo. He decides say he go fly go to Congo for meet Kavubu. Let him understand, let them make peace between him, Patrice Lumumba. Guess what happened? In plane crash na road. Within days, they arrest Patrice Lumumba, they assassinate him. And that same thing they happen at Thomas Sankara. They understand how the global powers they operate. Then you come out to the issue. You come up to the issue of Ghana. You see the wealth where Ghana gets to today?
Yes.
You know that they foundation day? Now Jerry Rawlings.
Yes.
Jerry Rawlings challenged the IMF and the World Bank. They attempt for assassinate 110, 210, 310 and fail.
Wow.
Eventually, the World Bank realized the need for deal with Rawlings.
Wow.
So Rawlings begin for changing system.
See?
But that brief moment day, that drastic measures day, where Rawlings take, where Thomas Sankara take, he able for lay the foundation for Ghana in growth one, where the rest of the leaders in Ghana win him now. The other person been get the same ideas where with them in need. They been not see through the game. Now in Kwame Nkrumah. Kwame Nkrumah and Sekou Touré they been get so much threat to their position, such that Sekou Touré turned dictator completely. He now mess up. When he mess up, he kill you, which was bad.
Very much so.
But now because of the experience where you see Rawlings, where you see Kwame Nkrumah do, Kwame Nkrumah was so democratic, want to unite the entire Africa. So you not been too worried about too much protection, but they able for pull and come on. Sekou Touré not want that. You not want let that happen to me. So Kwame Nkrumah moved to Sekou Touré. He go live there. Now they die. He did they die. The criminal they now way the Western inside take over Ghana, they mess up Ghana. Which means inside Salon, we not see that the solution now and then. We can't do that.
So
but this is what we do.
Yeah.
This is what we will do. First of all, we need for realize say the Salon market is very small. Not only the market small, we per capita income. That is, if you then divide all the wealth we get, every person, the amount of money we they get is about now it don't go up to about $500 per person, which is good. But other countries they saving $1,000, $2,000. You understand, to certain level. Now, it's less than $500 actually. But then get what in and call income disparity, the income inequality gap. That income inequality gap, even though we get a per capita income we have $400 to $500 per person, 90% of the population know they get that $500 day, not get access, not get able to get that $500 days. The small percentage of the population, are 10-15%, that then go able to afford that $500 day. Now they did most of the wealth they gather inside Salon. The politician there and the criminal they when they deal with it and call businessman them. Now they get that the majority of the chunk of the wealth. The rest of the people them, they don't get that money there. So where investor want for can invest, now then they look at. Then they look at the per capita income, then they look at the income disparities, then get what in call in economics growth, elasticity to poverty. You understand?
I want you hold on to that thought. Would it get one call? I want to answer that and then we'll get back to.
Okay. Yes, caller, will they listen to you? Yes, what are the question? Yes, what are your name? Abdullah Sisi from New Jersey. Yes, sir.
Yes, Professor. You thought one point you talked about an aspect of Abdullah Sisi. Yes. So answer me question, they go directly to you where the scene at the screen. Professor Suma had answered for you.
Minister Professor. Okay, but
you have been given the title.
Yeah, first of all, one first expression is that the satisfaction about, the impression about the whole program very interesting, especially to the level we can down, especially with people, with population at Sierra Leone.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so like, I believe that the least man at Sierra Leone, we able to understand some aspects of what you need to break down.
Mm-hmm.
The aspect we are getting concerned now, also you mentioned and you're right, the weak politicians, them, in the past, there is a precedent so we don't test that these two main political parties that you are in the past, the effect, they affect even the current system of governance we all experience as a nation. That's not true. You also say clearly, as long as the two parties continue for my government material, I hope so I get you right. The situation actually will be forever.
Absolutely,
Right.
I agree. Yes, that's what I said.
Right, great. That's the main point. I believe there are aspects of that which make that possible again at the level of understanding of with people. With people defend themselves like a particular situation where they believe say there is no way, and they don't demonstrate, and it's not practical fact, that there is no way for the party go quick any of these two, no matter what. At least for me, on experience, we were born recently. We don't see how the SLPP and APC in the plane at Sierra Leone is very difficult. Once the party they were prominent, that's why even in the past election, some of we categorically make them clear, say, easily new party like NGC make a headway. But for the people, them just look at the face value of the popularity and they know what
Me go disagree with that statement, but ask you question. What are the question?
No, yes, make a land, right? So, because why I say so, at least I get an experience with Caritas Martin Party being merged as a new party with UNPP, the LAM. I get an experience with the late Mubambura of PDP. Correct. When I the foundation of my question, I will do as fast as possible. I get an experience with PDP, so they've been very popular. Also, I guess in the most recent past, I get an experience which has a guy in PMDC we formed just months. We become, I would tell you clearly, in the eyes of many, and the most popular party at that time. But none of these parties know ever break the foundation of any of SLPP or APC. So we look at for a such short time solution instead of we thinking of bringing new party to break these two. If we don't find it difficult, at least for the time when we don't leave, we don't find it very difficult. What about if we get people that we get the rightful mind like you, or somebody like Kande Yukela, or somebody like Charles Magai? We could decide here, okay, incident to party our people and don't go to them and instead of go away from the Islamic religion for them. Okay, so we get into one of them party, whether I SLPP or APC, you don't believe the rightful people in like you get into them party as serve as the leader or take a prominent position at any of them. You institute your right policy system amongst the bad people that within this party. You don't feel saying that the post steps that one they would take for even change them within the political spectrum, and that ability to extend to the country generally. You know, say that's necessary. That's not a question.
A very good question you ask. A very good question you ask, and I thank you for that question, Dave. But I disagree with your assertion, say, no third party no go for win election. That's alone. I disagree on the basis of the fact, say, if you understand the reason why third party no they win, then you're able to address that problem there then third party go win. All them party then the way you mentioned, so the PDPO, the PMDCO, and other party then now down to NGC, then fail because of certain reasons. NGC make an attempt to address some of them problems then they to a limited extent, but they don't even get enough time to address all the problems where make parties then they fail. As long as a party they based in campaign on iconic leadership, where it be saying a Charisma Smart no more, in name synonymous to the party, after Charisma Smart go, the party die. Temu Bangura, na in name synonymous to the party, where Temu Bangura die, the party die. Charles Magai, in name synonymous to the party, where Charles Magai weak, the party weak. The same problem. If any other party like NGC based the entire machinery of campaign on one leader, they will never win election. That's alone. So from that point of view, I agree with you.
But respectfully.
But I want you to finish in question quick. But my own analysis of the geopolitics of Salone, with people incapable of changing, then demonstrated at the last election, then really capable of changing, then demonstrated at the last election, but enough time not be there for let that process they go able to reach down to the grassroots, even to the villages, until each party begin for shift from that iconic worship leadership to building a party with your own structures for independently able for stand on your own, such that if you bring cockroach self, you put her and tap the party like NGC. You say this cockroach now will flag bearer. That party they go able for, that cockroach they go able for challenge any other political party. Now the geopolitics of Salone. That now one of the problem. The second problem, where turn that thing off for me, please. Yes. Please. The second problem is the fact that when you talk, give me the phone.
Hold on 1 second. We did live. Mr. Amjax.
Yeah, Amjax, can you?
Sorry.
Turn off completely.
Yeah. Sorry, viewers.
Sorry, viewers. You get some interruption from phone winning. The second problem is that we people then capable of changing, but change will never be meaningful to them if you not define them. You need a leadership within the parties them where they clearly define what change means, where they clearly define what in the new party go able for can deliver, where they clearly define the solutions when they go bring come for agriculture. We all know so with farmers in the struggle. They need to clearly define what in they go able for bring come for create jobs for the youth. We all know so we country need factories. Then clearly define what in they go able for do for fix the education problems. We all know so education problems are able for fix until the new party able for independently define a structure, create a structure where the party will be independent on your own without any iconic leadership in your own power. That we need iconic leadership for build the foundation of the party, but after a certain stage, the party is supposed for able for run on your own. And when you don't reach that level there, you need for define waiting then alternative when they bring come for the lives of the people. Believe in me, wallahi billahi, me they tell you me brother. We were able to challenge the machineries of APIS and SLPP because the machineries of APIS and SLPP is weak. It's weak. The power of the machineries of APIS and SLPP is centered on two things: regionalism and tribalism. You need to get a political party where they break through that structure there. You break through that machinery there. You weaken the tribalism sentiment. You weaken the whatever. The third one though. The third one. Now the problem with the people then get because of the abject poverty. Everybody they find a way for survive. They don't get job. When politician can give them 2 cents and go jump into them. But believe you me, if you get a leadership where they define what in the future mean for that youth today, what in the future mean for that mommy day, believe you me, I not care which kind of money politician give them. That future they ain't go to dream about. They ain't they imagine what will happen day one after that country they change in from the hands of APIS and SLPP. So I disagree with your assertion, based on that premise. But again, if any third party, they base in leadership on iconic leadership. We need iconic leadership for move the party to a certain level, but after a certain level, the party for be independent on its own, and that leadership will they create that leadership will they create the right structure for able for penetrate into the different corners of Sierra Leone. Now in lacking, if we see we get them, we're able to change the geopolitics in the country. Now it look like I said the time down the go. We know say we get viewers them from Salone and England, so Mange for go tomorrow. We go cut and short. We go get a second show because you ask a question why one really enter into where they focus on the economic solutions, the economic policies them. Where me before introduce, where I know say any good government will need for introduce for let we able for break through some of them challenges that we face in our country. And for touch on that one then where they lead to we trade policies, where they lead to we regional policies, where they lead to we mining policies, where they lead to we labor laws, where they lead to we fiscal policies in terms of taxations and stuff like that. We're not getting enough time for going to that one and day. So Mr. Amjad, with your permission, let me tell the audience and say we'll get a second show. We'll go focus specifically on solutions, practical solutions, based on policy changes that we fit to say we need for do, where any government need for adopt, moving forward, we'll go for change away from this this trap we don't set to self from. Now a trap we don't set to self. If we don't get people that will get that mindset today, where they think nationalistically, where they think patriotically, both in terms of policies and politics, Salone will never change. And no political party not in the country right now, particularly APs and SLPP, they not get that culture, they not get that kind of people and they within them party structures and they anyone where you give power to. Believe in me, now that same old system where they don't use, now they adopt. And the poverty will continue, the unemployment will continue, the suffering will continue, and that one day we need for break and through.
And again, I say respectfully, I disagree. No, we not focus on the political party, but the individual. You understand? Like when you make I agree with one statement where you make about not focus on like the person where they come, they say okay now this they can't do so on and so forth, but rather the action per se. You understand?
Yeah, but you have to remember say no single individual, please.
No,
we understand that.
Coming, please.
No single individual will solve the problem.
Yes.
I don't care how smart you
that
be.
Is true.
If you not get a team around you, we understand that culture.
Absolutely.
And that team then, and the political party, they provide them.
Absolutely. But again,
if
Mr.
the political party get a different culture, I don't care. Like that hand. The
Okay.
guy answer one point when
but
the guy asks.
Give me chance.
No, they can't. The guy asks say, the gentleman will call. He said, why good leaders are not go inside APs and SLPP, then take up the leadership and able for change the country from within because the people are not used to APs and SLPP. Well, one thing you have to understand. The culture within APs and SLPP is so endemic, meaning that it's so rotten, it's so undemocratic. The culture and the mindset, they respect people and voice. When they say chairman for life, no voices no go counter down there because he gets henchmen around them for protect them. And they come now finish. Because of that, no good leader, no go inside APC. Say APC get good man there. APC get brilliant, intelligent folks them. APC get man them where if you then give them that opportunity, the entire APC image then go transform and completely. But the culture within the party itself makes it impossible for them then good people and they take over the leadership.
Thank you, but you don't.
The same applies to SLPP. We now see how the pauperism been lead, it drive away key people from SLPP. The people that run away from SLPP, not all the party that run away from who. Now the party that run away from them. How? Because behind the name, behind the symbol, behind the colors of a political party is the ideology. When SLPP abandon the ideology, the people that believe in that ideology, they abandon the party.
So again,
APC,
I want to give you some time.
APC right now, people and they inside APC, where they mean well for the country.
Yeah.
But because of the hierarchy of the party, so rotten, they are all criminals. They're ready for destroy any opportunity where they get. Then they suppress the people that will get voice. They suppress the people that will mean well. And then people then go frustrated one day. They left the party. And anybody will produce a democratic institution where they're able to represent the views and the hope and the aspiration of them people in two parties, then they then go shift to that party. Trust me, a third force is capable of unseating them.
So
yes, what's my question?
So no, not statement. So all what they say again, we basically land at the same thing. You kind of like commend some of the members them of the
APC party.
Yeah, All People's Congress political party. So that's not the same sentiment we share. I know we focus say SLPP, APC, then bad. Because any side you get the good one, you get the good one. Just the scenario I give you, we born with picking them, we instill certain values them.
Okay, let me ask you a simple question.
Give me chance because you don't talk. You just give me small time. You understand? You come, you bring me in your cabinets because you trust me. You trust me, say I go execute as expected. Unfortunately, if me fail you, it don't mean say now you party bad. Because your intention was good, but me, unfortunately, and 18 other people then fail you because they not do as expected of the people of Sierra Leone. And if we look about this SLPP and APC, I believe say the only intelligence we will for kind of assess both. Now we look from when we get independent, whether an SLPP or APC, waiting they don't accomplish for the country. There's no perfect governance in the sense that if you rule today, there are some areas then where you go wrong. You understand? But that don't make you say you're not the worst political party. Now that I want we kind of like agree to disagree, saying that even if you can't see as president, there side and where you go make mistake. But does that make Mr. Jeff Zuma in political party the worst? No. You understand? So now that's not my one. You know, because the emphasis on saying that they are the worst, I believe say them bad say they don't do something at the country where they don't accomplish where the benefits of the make. And the statement what Mr. Abdullah say, if we're not so worried about the iconic leaders, you understand, and we worried about the development of the country, you don't make an emphasis say, okay, this All People's Congress then get solid mandem. Like how they give you, give me one, not a statement that they make.
No, but
one second. No, you don't give me chance. I don't give chance. I want to give me a small chance. Yes, Mr. Abdullah give you a statement say, if you feel say, and you make a statement say, APC then gets good, solid people then they. And Mr. Abdullah say, okay, then political party are so either one of them. If you don't know say, you know, the people then either say APC or SLPP. And from history, from experience, it's saying that the only two parties then they would stand. So now, if you know say APC gets strong people then or SLPP gets strong people then, why you not go take the opportunity for join them and see who side then weak, who side they don't what thing they don't accomplish, and who side you go want to see the country moving forward. Okay. Yeah, so now give you a chance for come back in.
By that way she talks on two things you don't demonstrate. You don't demonstrate say you don't understand how political parties they operate. You also don't demonstrate say you don't understand how development they work. Like give you example. Let's say then give $1 million to a government in a salon. Then say build hospital for the people them. Then give $1 million to another government in Ghana. Then say build hospital them. Then na salon then build 2-3 clinic. Waste some time equipment already teacher and or whatever. But then show the building say yes, we don't build clinic. $1 million. You go Ghana. You go see 2 massive hospitals them. Now, a development economist go tell you say the salon scenario is terrible, it's bad. Period. They're not going to even go begin for polish and say, oh, then boot clinic. You understand? Because then get something they compare around with. Now, the reason why you feel to say APC and SLPP don't do good in the country, now because you not get nothing for comparing with in terms of the trend of development, the amount of resources where Salome get compared to other countries. You understand? The amount of wealth where Salome get based on population, land area, and natural resources compared to other countries if the other country then they been get that kind of resources they, then they for the 10 times the level where Salon they so now. Now, if you know that, say the amount of money and development in GDP was Salon don't get over the years. You compare that one day to some other country like Malaysia, for instance, because the palm oil Malaysia they export right now Salon and go take the Bangadem. You understand? Then you see some Malaysia in the 1950s, Salon have been the mecca for them. In other words, then they admire Salon. Then they can Salon can take something. Then you go see Malaya, skyscrapers and this and that. Then you look at the numbers. You look at the natural resources. A development economist will tell you, say, the APC and SLPP government are terrible.
Then Mr. Suma,
but you,
respectfully,
they come. But you go see, say, oh, they don't build Sekastimi Street. They don't build stadium. But you go Malaysia, now skyscraper they get it. But yet we been get more resources past them. So again, now because you're not going to waiting for compare with, so you go able to say that. To me, I stand by my position.
Yeah.
Say APC and SLPP, they are bad for the country.
Okay.
Now the reason why I say that, not only because of their past performance, but because of the current culture of leadership within inside the party, the way leadership they happen. Why the good one and our APC not able for penetrate state today, for letting go to structure the party and take leadership?
Okay.
Because of the culture. So the party itself is bad.
Okay, I respect your view, but then again, now go back again with the comparison with other country. When you compare them, then you also equally for compare. You ask yourself this question. They don't go through civil war. They don't go through Ebola epidemic. They don't go through flood disaster. So these are all things will bring your economy back bad. So for also put that in consideration.
Okay,
if we don't get all the misfortune and day, then we for question say why we not go further develop as example of Malaysia or Ghana, so on and so forth.
Okay.
You understand? So that civil war, it take a toll on we country. The Ebola epidemic, it take a toll on we country. Not making an excuse. Secondly,
okay, if we make this debate, not get
no 1 second.
Yes.
Secondly, when we they talk about iconic leaders, we they ask yourself say, Mr. Jeff Suma, you not get the opportunity for become a president yet. But if you get the intention down the line, we ask ourselves, say, you get, let me say you get a prestige position in the United States of America. All these years, how I go trust you lead your future leadership when you've been there down or when you not get much or when you've been getting much, how much you contribute to the Republic of Sierra Leone. You understand? There are a lot of concerned Sierra Leone and we get love for Mama Salon, whether they contribute one way or the other. If not garbage can save, then go contribute unto Sierra Leone. You understand? So, like how you say, no, not fall in love with somebody in title or Mr. Suma in name, but rather waiting they contribute to Salon when you not even get the opportunity for become a leader.
Amjad.
Right?
Amjad.
So now, and also we get a caller
Yeah,
in. We get a caller in.
Not a caller, but I have a follow-up question.
Oh,
Yeah,
question.
follow-up
Okay,
question.
sir.
So, Sierra Leone is not that far different from the United States when it comes to political parties.
Yes.
You always get the two parties that will always they win presidential, no matter what.
Yes.
So this is part of the question we the caller ask.
Yeah.
To me, if you really mean like a meaningful way for penetrate to become a president, you have to be a member of those two parties.
I disagree respectfully.
It's a big challenge.
I disagree respectfully. Let me give examples.
Okay.
Before I come to in question, because your own question I get for tear them apart. Amjad. The government where they rule Ivory Coast right now, now a new party. The government where they rule Senegal, now a new party.
But you see the
government where
results
they rule
of Senegal.
Nigeria, now a new party. The government where they rule at the camp. This is now African continent, not even call America. African continent, because now you want to compare within the regional environment. If you say it's impossible for a third party for win alone, how come they were able to do it in Guinea? How come are they able to do it in Liberia? How come are they able to do it in Senegal? How come Ghana? How come Nigeria? How come Kigali?
That is not
Rwanda?
impossible, but then
So
the results.
that don't defeat that point today. But the second one, like I come to this why I say, we'll be longer civil war, we don't get Ebola, We don't get this and that done, and they all affect with development. Again,
Absolutely. Absolutely.
That because you not look into the reason why we get civil war. If you look into the reason why we get civil war, the point fingers they all go point to APC and SFPP. If you look at the reason why we get Ebola, the fingers will go point by an Eskurma of APC. Because of the bad leadership, now it lead to that.
So when
why
before you go
other,
further, why you say Ines Koma now responsible for Ebola? I want to give the viewers them the reason why you feel that strong.
Oh, okay. Are they eliminate the conspiracy theories where people are not put forward say now research what they go do approved by the government for develop a biochemical na salon. Are they remove that one day?
Okay.
Let us assume say a natural incident will happen.
Absolutely.
The way responsive leadership they respond to that is different from the way Ines Koma respond to them.
Okay.
When a medical crisis happen, it require a medical solution.
Absolutely.
You develop a medical team where they're able to attack them and win them. But what in them do? They use them as an excuse for take money from government treasuries and give politicians 60 millions. Imagine over 100 politicians them. Each one and get 60 millions. How politicians they go fight Ebola? When the medical crisis, call the medical expert them for Shidong, tell you what you need for be done. Bang, you grab it, begin for use for the people and go thief money. Secondly, the millions will come into the country. By their own report, $4.5 million was not accounted for. What's that money they go? Please don't go into this debate.
So
answer the first question. We interject.
Yeah, can we say? Sorry, Mr. Suma. Can we say also that the Republic of Sierra Leone,
this means supposed to be a question and answer issue. Now it's a turn debate. And if you have a turn debate, I want somebody where actually
but find out just agree with you.
No, they agree with me.
I respect you've used them, but listen to me, self too. Elect na nonsense. At least you will take the sense out of the nonsense.
I understand
that. The point is, Republic of Sierra Leone not ever experienced the Ebola incident. You understand?
Exactly.
So can we also fairly say that at that time it can be in a panic mode, and not know whose direction for go, and for now is give money, make money, provide money for, like I say again, it puts them people in a prestige position, thinking that it trusts them. So if they not live up to expectation, of course it come back to them. So you go look and say, that
means it's not a leader.
No,
a leader is somebody where we understand.
Even with current president, I understand say he also trust enough again a certain amount for say go and sensitize them people there or do X, Y, and Z. So no, this is not politics, but I don't talk on the reality wherein
what the question?
When they get called, well.
Because we need
I don't say they ignore me.
Huh? Yeah, for the on, the on. Huh? Okay. What's your question? And where are you calling from? Your name and question.
My name is Jibril Bangura, and my question.
Jibril Bangura from where?
From Columbus, Ohio.
Columbus, Ohio. Yes. What's your question?
It's regarding this guy talking about Ebola. It was called the widespread of Ebola was caused by carelessness from the former president.
Yes.
That's my I just want to give kind of a little contribution towards that, so that the public would know exactly what happened and how come Ebola spread like a wildfire in Syria.
Okay, let's hear you.
I mean, for that somebody you can't sit on a public, you talk things that we don't understand. It's very important. I believe their program that they create them so that we all will come, we educate them and educate the one the way they back home. But from there, we brought our and say Ebola now due to President Nkrumah in poor leadership and now he calls that a good research. I don't think to this people that really know exactly how this thing happens and how it spread like a wildfire in that point.
Okay, well, you tell us. You have the opportunity now for tell the audience, since you know how it spread. Listen. Mm-hmm.
This Ebola, where people in the West talk about, it comes from Liberia. The first case, now Liberia, now they them it still come over now Sierra Leone. From there, they politicize them, they politics balance. That's why they try to make up a censor as alone. And at that time, they did a political election. So we have to see people what are them, then put them tell the people and say, let them know who participate. The government is trying to protect the people and they put politics so far that people let them begin tackling people and when the people let them speak, instead of them caring for who side they suppose for they know this one. Then they take them and they go hide them and they tell them to order district them.
Okay. You done? Okay. Okay, you done?
Yeah.
Good. Well, I'll respond to that one day. You've been listening to the interview where they interview an Eskroma. The last question where they ask him, Atina Al Jazeera, they say, if there is one thing you could do that could have changed the entire scenario, what is that thing? They ask him, what's the one thing you don't do differently? And Eskroma say, if you be know how the Ebola for don't able for spread now, in for don't quarantine the first set of people them na Kailaun, so that they go able for contain the Ebola situation at Kailaun. So what in they tell you that defeat that same statement what you make, because you create the impression like I say, no, they can't, that done. I've been listening you. You create the impression like I say, then the people refuse to be quarantined, then they take the people and they go outside and they spread the Ebola. That was not the case. And Eskroma self admits say, Ladon please. And Eskroma self admits in another interview say, they're not quarantine the people then. So that bad leadership, because we healthcare system not been prepared for that. Because they don't tip the money then so much that the healthcare system not been prepared for any emergency, whether it's Ebola or not.
Yeah, I know.
It is good.
It
is good that we point to the USAID problem there.
Yeah.
It is good for the country.
Yeah.
Until the people understand the source and the source of their problem,
yes,
they will not be able to address it.
1 second, sir.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes.
But then, because we need to continue with the interview.
Yes, sir. So, Mr. Jibril, sorry, I want to come in quick. From your understanding with Ebola, I've been hearing say it starts from Guinea, then one woman, no, 1 second, sir. 1 second, sir. Yeah, give me 1 second. So I understand say it starts from Guinea. A woman go, I think he go say Osh for begging by somebody die in Guinea, where he go, unfortunately, he go get this disease. He bring and come, but at that time, we've been clueless as to what this disease is all about. Then from there now, it begin to spread like wildfire. So me understand what me they take is that Ebola will not ever experience them and will not be know how to tackle them. You understand? But moving forward, when you know better, you do better. But I don't believe say now anybody, whether it for be SLPP or APC, NGC, now a disease wherein the government not be know how for tackle them at that moment. So it's so contagious that when the next person get them, if you not tackle them in the appropriate manner or you not get the correct equipment for prevent the other people, then also even just the spread. So I know we look and say na APC, SLPP, but rather na a disease wherein it come all of a sudden and we will not be know how for tackle them.
Every country they prepare for emergency. Yeah, that's where leadership begins.
Yes, but
when you not prepare for emergency come, They'll go for blame you for your failures. Yeah. Not to that, the quarantine itself is just basic emergency process. The fact that say nurses and doctors they get paid, then politicians they get 60 million. Now bad leadership. So those are the things you have to agree to. Yeah.
All right, sorry.
Okay, not round this thing up because we'll get a different next show. We'll get a next show. We'll focus on solutions because people in the salon in England now want to go to bed. And no one for tie them down because they're enjoying the show.
Sound like a plan to me.
So before you round up, I just get one question.
What's the question?
I know the main topic today is about
IMF, yes,
and
World Bank,
the economy,
and politicians. So if you have to blame, where is the blame? Is it with IMF or is it with
the politicians?
Or is it with a level of understanding?
That's a very good point. That's a very brilliant question. The man they ask say, if you look at in the nutshell, Wuda and Wuda will get the most blame of all the issues that when are the underlining thing that will lead to USA with this. So IMF, World Bank, will politician them. The truth of the matter is, you go blame the World Bank and the IMF.
Taking advantage.
We politician them, then we get two things we been the worry, we been there against them. One, ignorance. They not been get salon, not been educated enough, or get enough economists them. We understand the potential threats to some of their economic policies that they impose on we. Because we get for land their own economics. Now, what to make some of we able for get a different view, now because we don't look at the trend, then trend will not be exist before. We don't look at the trend and see the outcome of them policies then they and realize say if we want for reverse the trend, they will need for take a counter approach to the same policies that we then put forward. Seka Steven, Albert Magai, they not been get that kind of opportunity. They not been get that kind of economists then they were able for winning. So they been go for rely on the tricks where the West been play on them. But why I not going to excuse them that much? Because other leaders and they grow up in that same environment where they been smarter. Why were they not smarter? Because they were greedy. Kwame Nkrumah was not greedy. So he was able to see through them. So greed and cloud with politicians them will make the name for see through IMF and World Bank. Sekou Touré was not greedy. He was greedy to some extent, but he sought the interest of the people of Guinea far more than most other leaders, such that the way he died, the mineral resources them still intact. You understand? So greed and cloud with leaders there. So IMF and World Bank penetrate through that greed. So everybody in any relationship, when they know your weakness, then they penetrate through. And the weakness of leaders is greed. Until we get a leader, we not get greed, we not they seek the interest. Let me tell you something. Leadership, they get it in several ways. Some man they learn them. They get to go through a process and a lot of experience for learn leadership. Some man they didn't have in DNA.
Absolutely.
It's natural with them. Best if something leadership skills in our DNA, the moment you take up leadership, the first way they trigger in your mind. Why am I here? What will I say at the end of my term? What result will I present? How will I serve our people? That's what triggers into your head with good leadership. Bad leadership, if you not get an inside, you not get an inside you. You can play politics anyhow, then put you there. The same buffoon and greed where you get, it's not, you can't produce what you not get.
Yeah, absolutely.
You understand? Until people understand that. Now, when you talk about this issue, say, waiting like a me don't do or anybody like Kande don't do for salon. Okay, me. No, say me. Like waiting like me don't do.
Yes.
For lead development salon.
Yeah.
A very good question.
No, not a question,
no,
a statement.
Not a question.
No, not a question.
Okay, what's the statement?
The statement was, like how you say, now we not fall in love with the icon, but rather waiting them people we don't do for we salon. something to that effect. So my
Okay,
point is
well,
that
well, let me answer that
if
question.
somebody not become a leader yet, but now we look at the history. It like now 1 million you been put towards salon. We not say you be don't engage for the last 40 years. You understand? But if you come from nowhere, like how you say, no, not get impressed by, because everybody when they want to be a leader, then they campaign and they give the words them way the citizens why you read. You understand?
Well, answer
At the end of the day,
you asked the
unfortunately, they
question
fail.
twice now.
No, a statement, not a question, a statement.
Well, a statement when I question it sound like.
No, a statement.
But a question is a what? When you use the what, it's a question.
No, I don't say what so.
It's a what have the person, no, waiting the person don't do.
I say no, we
what
focus on waiting they don't accomplish for the country versus waiting that they say to we. So we're not gonna be tricked, say, okay, this was so if they can't Mr. Suma, they can't do well in the country. No. What is Suma Mr. Suma we don't know for the past 20 years? No, we look into that rather than what it is say. Because we don't get fooled in the past by the statements and then fail we. You didn't get me.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Then I want to interject again, please.
No
I don't
problem.
wait for you to don't ask you questions.
Sure.
Then get a statement where say the example of a fool. Now, one way they do the same thing several times, they expect a different result.
Yes.
For 56 or 57 years, we don't elect the same party then. We don't get the same result. So if you the base and say, the new person waiting outside that party they want come, waiting he don't do, for let I go trust them, then which option you get? The option where you get, it's either you deal with the same old people that we don't mess the country for 57 years, whether the same result you will get from 1920 to 2020 something, or you take a leap and deal with people that we don't demonstrate na their life, waiting at leadership, they don't demonstrate na their life, waiting at success, they don't demonstrate na their life. Give them opportunity for let them can demonstrate that one day. In terms of waiting individuals don't do, if you understand how governments they operate, you no go talk that. Because if me grab right now say, I want to go build the biggest energy plant na Salone. If the politicians na the country no approve of them, it no matter waiting on me intent. Because the government has the power to either enable or destroy. From the 60s to now, billions, I repeat, billions of dollars done invested in that country from NGOs.
Absolutely.
Because the political structure is so corrupt and rotten at the end, the leadership structure, then billions, then they will not see no effect on them. So you are telling me or telling anybody else that wants to come and provide the leadership. So the problem is not the resources. The problem is the leadership. So if you say that leadership, they therefore demonstrate, say what you don't do, what they do right now is contribution to the nation.
Absolutely.
It's worth millions.
Absolutely.
Because it's educating and enlightening the people.
Okay.
What I don't do in the past in terms of the scholarship that we don't give, the NGOs that we don't support, and the other stuff that we don't do. I don't want anybody to use that as a criteria to determine leadership.
Yes.
If you use that, then you're missing the point.
Right. And equally so, when if then two parties there, so no talk in a fair manner.
But let we try
as bad as they are, you must don't get one or two things their way. Either SLPP or APC don't accomplish in a salon. So we're not gonna say they don't do bad all the way. And then
I
you
don't
talk
answer that
about.
just now. I tell you, say if you get two countries, they give 1 billion.
Chance,
no, but you come back to the same question.
No.
I don't tell you say if you get two countries.
No,
two
you
countries,
still
let's say
make a land.
No.
If
you repeat the same question, and the same answer will give.
Not a question, a statement.
But the statement I go say you ask question.
You need to make a fair statement, Mr. Suma. SLPP, hold on. SLPP then bad or APC then bad they don't get things the way they don't accomplish.
Of course, they don't do things at the country. But what you don't understand is that if I send you, I give $1,000. I say let you go buy shoes. You understand? You go buy half back. You go and can say the $1,000 where you give me now. This half back I will tell you. To you go say, okay, at least you don't buy half back. Now that's what they try for tell me. To me know what $1,000 worth. And know what $1,000 go give you. You bring half back unto me. I go look you and say that's something that crazy you crazy.
Never
can't tell me say. So you dey tell me say, what APC and SL people don't do for that country, they? Who for embrace them and acknowledge them, say they don't do whatever. That's what you're saying.
No,
I will not because I know what a good leadership could have done.
Yeah, no, we fear
with that same resources,
statements.
with that same
no, what are the axes that no fear with statements in the sense that not bash them to the point that say, oh, they're not doing nothing for the country.
I'm not telling you they not do nothing for the country.
Yeah, and that they try for.
I'm not telling you that.
The impression what they give with viewers them, like for say this party, they're not ever be good for salon.
They're not ever be good for 57 years. They're not good for salon. There is no way they go good
when
next year.
When I say they must not accomplish something at the country. So
they don't accomplish, yes, but what they accomplish? That's what they accomplish.
Anybody want come
okay, wait. What they accomplish? What did they accomplish?
Yeah.
75% illiteracy. The highest mortality rate. Poverty. No hospitals.
But you are
no,
product.
That's
you
what,
are a product of the beloved Republic of Sierra Leone.
Of course,
and
that's
your
why
intelligence to the core.
That's why I'm trying to fix it. That's why I'm trying to fix it. What I'm doing,
you are a product of that.
You cannot fix something if you don't understand what the problem is.
If me put down,
you never understand the problem.
No. If me put down me picking and papa, I don't put parts of me picking and DNA. Okay. So if you put down Republic of Sierra Leone. Sierra Leone produce you. Sierra Leone produce you. You cannot say that you're not illiterate. You understand?
What are the question? Okay. What did the person say?
Go ahead.
Now let me announce your name and who side you call from.
Hello?
I know
okay, go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
The audience don't they hear the person. Then they hear okay. Okay, go ahead.
First of all, I want to tell Mr. Jesua and Khadija, thank you for bringing this program.
Yes, sir. Amen. Yes. Yes.
I want to agree with the speaker, Mr. Jesuma, for saying the politicians are the primary culprits for blame.
Exactly.
Of the economy, because most of the in America will be able to call anti-money laundering laws. Politicians they are backward. They are not only stealing, the country's money, but they are backing, removing that money from the country. And then according to economic policy, any money we pull like a country, it don't belong to it. What's the money they do to the economy? They kill the economy to the core.
Exactly.
This is the problem. In that country, I just visited Sierra Leone 2 weeks ago when I came back. If you reach Salon, you nearly cry for the people there.
Yeah, boy.
From 1961 when Sierra Leone became independent, all the minerals they will get, what we don't do.
At 12 o'clock, 1 a.m. to people in a salon. So.
IMF and World Bank, for blame them for what's going on in Sierra Leone.
Exactly.
Because back then, people have not been understand much. Whatever monetary and fiscal and monetary policy when they introduce to them,
and they accept.
But now that from the 1980s to the 90s to now, we will begin to produce powerful economics. What people are going to do for kind of sometimes find a way for negotiate with IMF. Other countries they do so because also already IMF they can't tell that a country they work for salon. No one is quite impossible. When IMF they loan you the money with a 30% interest rate plus variable interest rates. When they say variables for any dollar you spend,
Yeah. Okay, man. Okay, man. Thank you so very much. Now, very good points you make. So, but the next show now we will focus on solution. We don't identify what not the problem. In the next show we'll spend 5-10 minutes for recap the problem. Then I will begin for touch on the solutions from step to step, focusing on specific monetary, fiscal policies, trade policies, mining policies, as well as regional economic integration policies. We will go for do under Mano River Union for create a broader market. Because if somebody want to go invest in a salon right now, three things you go for look at. You look at the population, you look at the per capita income, you look at the income disparities. And none of them numbers and they favor we. Our population is about 7 million. Nobody will open factory for a 7 million population. We per capita income is less than $500. And the income disparities, in other words, the inequality in the income gap is so high that the majority of the population poor. So most of the wealth is there. And then feel that they're not going to satisfy the demand where the person will need for the factory to open. So what you need to do, you start up by creating a common market within the Mano River Union so that you're able to create a concept where you go be say, if they produce any product in a salon, because of that harmonized trade, because of that they don't remove that artificial trade barrier between the 4 countries and the region, it will make it easier for that other person to get access to over 15 or 18 million people in Ivory Coast. You'll get access to over 10 million buyers now Guinea. You'll get access to the 6-7 million na Salon. You'll get access to the 3-4 million na Liberia. That na a big large of purchasing power where you get to be able to sustain that factory there before you even reach that level there for move forward. The next one, we'll get for think about the fact that say if we want for change our mining policies, we'll get for members say we not get enough control of the supply chain of any of the mineral resources for influence the price. You understand? So iron ore, if we say this now we challenge the producers of iron ore, say we want to get a 30% equity when at the tea we go recommend, then go tell you say, well, we're not going to allow that to go pull off resources. That moment they will get a big shock now with economy. Yeah. But if you harmonize that trade policy there with Guinea, Liberia, and Sierra Leone, Guinea, Liberia, and Sierra Leone, they produce the biggest amount of iron ore in the entire world.
Wow.
Then 3 nations and they get the largest share of the iron ore. But because they negotiate and trade policy independently, they don't get an influence on the world market. But if we get a leadership in a salon where they move up under the Mano River Union and create a harmonized policies, we all get the same policy. We say 30% for we government as equity on them mineral resources they are. Iron ore. The Mawere salon no go pull out because you know say if you pull out the one there where they Guinea Liberia and the same policy they get for dealing with them go cancel and can take over. Absolutely. You see the point? The same applies to with diamonds, to with gold and stuff like that. So there are so many other policies than they will need for delving. But until we get enough time, because people in England and Salon where they watch now, the one for go to bed, we'll get another show, we'll go start early, we'll get 1 or 2 hours for delving into the solutions. So many trade policies and other monetary and fiscal policies and they will go touch on. Monetary policies, oh God, time not day. Lord, stop for now. Ladies and gentlemen,
so much, Mr.
we tell you thank you for
Suma,
get time for listening to we tonight. And we hope say we'll go able to continue this debate here in due course, time permitting. We'll get another show sometime next week. We don't know yet, but we'll announce it and you guys will know.
God bless,
thank you.
Sir. Well done, sir. Thank you. Good night.
Closing remark.
Again, viewers, caller, we want to tell you plenty thank you. We want to tell Mr. Suma thank you. Na a wonderful self of our beloved Mama Salon. We tell and thank you for bless we with your knowledge today. And we producer, the founder of this
Sierra Cast TV. I'm Judge Jalomiba.
Thank you. And God bless we beloved Mama Salon and we now the citizen of we beloved country. Until next time, this is Sierra Cast TV with Mr. Jeff Med's Mami Fode Suma.
Just met Fode Mami Suma as the guest.
Thank you. God bless.